Say goodbye to yesterday. I was just remember only took me like 7 years to pass my engineering test. When you're a civil engineer in California, it take me 7 years to pass this test. You know that's almost longer than most people have been married nowadays. And then you know what? I spent $7,000 on a gallon of gas. Man, you talking about like just paying money out. You talking about making it rain. I made it rain at the BMW dealer when it came to that. So as I sit here heading toward 2020, I'm thinking, man, 7 years, that's a long time. What made me keep going to that exam, spending time studying for the test? I mean, what was it that kept me from just not like, hey, you know what? I have other people who've taken the exam only, this engineering particular exam only one time and just quit. And then I look back on how, man, I had to deal with a lawyer bill with my grandmother where I had to actually take my uncle to jail to prevent him from getting part of her estate because he was a drug dealer, and my grandmother was afraid that he would sell the house if he would sell the house and do something crazy. So I just look back on that and I'm like, man, how did I get to that? Spending that $20,000 for the lawyer bill. And then I look back, man, it's like, man, I was only 1 hour from dying. I had like the sinusitis in my head, and the bacteria was slowly working its way toward the brain. And the options the doctor was thinking, we'll just take out his eye. Because I went into the doctor's office and my eye was like, this right eye was totally coming out the socket. I looked at that, looked like if you remember the Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, how that when they fell into the Mars atmosphere, their eyes started to get super big. That's how big my eye was. And now, you know what? Before I ended up getting sick and going to the doctor, I went to the doctor. I went to the dentist. I went to the optometrist like 4 or 5 times, and they still didn't diagnose it. So basically, after going to all these so-called specialists, I was almost going to go have the eye cut out and about to die if no one diagnosed the poison to my head. Man, how did I just get lucky? And let's think about another instance. Let's do another flashback. How did I just get out of the inner city of 385 East 116th Place, man? You know what? Most people, when they grow up in the neighborhood, they never even leave. There's some statistic like I learned from Kevin Hogan. He's an expert on persuasion. And he talked about how some people just never ever leave home. How did I go all the way from LA to Japan to San Francisco to Oakland, back to LA, now to San Bernardino, to Yucca Valley? You know what? A few years ago, I was living on a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house on 1.5 acres of land. That was like a big change from growing up at 385 East 116th Place in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, sleeping with Hog, that's the nickname for my grandfather, and we lived on a rollaway couch. One of those couches you pull out the mattress, and him and I used to sleep on it, and in the morning we'd have to get up early about 5, get it all like worked out, roll it, and fix it. And then I grew up with my grandparents. I had to go to, I lived like, there's at least 5 of us trying to use one bathroom in the house. I told you, one thing I learned from being younger is I just want a bathroom, man. I just want a clean bathroom. So when I moved into that 4-bedroom house, the biggest reward was the 2 bathrooms until the water heater blew out, which ended my fun. And then I finally had sold the house. And then to top it all off, some of you guys are lucky, but my mom and grandparents said, hey, why don't we send you to an all-guy high school? Your uncle went to Verbum Day High School. He didn't graduate so we're going to send you there. So, I mean, what were they trying to tell me, man? Are they trying to say, hey, if we send you to a regular school, you're to get somebody pregnant? I mean, does it look like I have some type of disorder that I need to be around a bunch of men? What? Did they knew like maybe 20, 30 years later, I'd be hanging out in Palm Springs. So like, hey, son, we're just getting you ready. Hey, get around a bunch of guys. You can learn how to handle yourself, and then you can go to that little, because sometimes I do have to say, I do go to that little shop in Palm Springs. It's a shop on Tachiva. I can't remember it, but there's this cool gay store, and I do like that. I have to say, I do like those tight underwear, man, because it used to be like over 220 pounds and stuff. So you're only wearing like the big outfits and big stuff. So I've gotten down to about 201, and now I like to have enough of a waist. So I do periodically I do go by the gay shop and buy like the gay shorts. I think those things are totally cool, man. But now, like, I mean, those though, if you look at the Calvin Klein and the other ones now, the underwear is sort of similar, but it's nothing like getting it from a store in a gay neighborhood. Hey, that's all I got to say about that. But so what I'm saying is like, man, what am I doing? Like, and now my goal is I got to make $2,800 a day in order to become a millionaire, and that's just the minimum. I should be trying to get to the 10 to $15 million area. And all I know how to do that is with sales. What sales skills have helped me do, it just helped me deal with people. So I've taken Kevin Hogan's course where like I've learned persuasion, body language. I mean, I've read the Tom Hopkins books. I've studied the Robert Kiyosaki books. I mean, the first self-improvement course I ever went to was a Tony Robbins course for 3 days. And that's when I would come home. I came from San Francisco, went there from my grandmother's house. I'd go to Tony Robbins, come back, go to Tony Robbins, come back. And I was there for 7 to 8 hours a day. And then I did end it, and I still have it to this day. I love it. Right. I still have it to this day, my firewalker thing, because once you complete the firewalk, they have this little thing they gave us back then, and I still carry it. But I'm still going to self-improvement courses. And in February, I'm getting ready to go to GrowthCon with Grant Cardone. So that's who I've been following. Because the reason I've been following Grant Cardone is most of that just got down to it. He says you just have to have money. If you don't have money, attention gives money. Money gives you what you need. If you don't have money, nobody cares. For example, when I sold my 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom house, I said, okay, hey, why don't I try being homeless? Because when I was in college, I got rid of my apartment, got rid of everything, and I lived out of my Nissan Pathfinder for about a year. And I was like always hanging out at the beach during the day, cleaning up in the bathroom. When I was working, I was working at some AOL places. I always got these jobs. So I was like, hey, why don't I try that? Don't try that, man. Rest area is totally different than San Francisco. I mean, it only took like a few weeks, and I said, this is not going to work, man. Because guys, unfortunately, men just do bizarre stuff, man. You go to the bathroom. First thing they think you want to do is, it's like, damn, can't I just come in the bathroom, clean my teeth, and go out and rest? So then I elevated from like the week or two I stayed in the rest area, I transitioned to Motel 6. So then at Motel 6, it's like, it was okay, but then you just got all these strange people. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know if they're getting dropped off. I don't know if they're getting out of county. I don't know if they're on the run from the man, but just there you go, people. Then, of course, my people, black people, do bizarre stuff. I had one guy who was across from me with a dog illegally in the room, and then was getting upset with the management because he thought it was his right to bring the dog in. That was an issue. And then I transitioned to my Best Western. That's okay. This is not bad. If I'm going to pay $120, $30 for a room, what could possibly go wrong? One night I had a bachelorette party. Another night I had these 2 big fat black ladies bring all the furniture, the chairs and tables from the apartment outside and put it in front of the room. And I just like, gosh, my people just like, what can you do, man? What can you do? So then after that, I transitioned to a 2-bedroom townhouse. I was paying $2,166 a month. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It was all right. Then about the first, second, or third night, the neighbor, he's playing like these bizarre games. I got a dog behind me. Ruff, 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 ruff. So when the neighbors put the dog out to use the bathroom, he started to bark till they let him back in. And then I had another dog across the street, roof, 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 in a totally different apartment complex that was barking. I'm like, oh my God. So I had to call code enforcement on them, on the dogs that was away from me. So it was just, it's like, man, paying all this money and then just dealing with all this insanity. And then I had these two small little white dogs that used to see me. Maybe they're racist dogs, man. These saw me. It's like, man, it's like, what is this, like 1966, man? They like get around the brother and the dogs are ready to attack or something. What's going on? So then I finally had to transition to another place. So I moved over to like the Summit Apartments. I saw a new Comet apartment building. So that's where I have been. And I have to say, it was probably quieter than my house because unfortunately, you know what happens? The neighbors get dogs. And when they get dogs bark. If not barking, it's kids. So, because before that, when I had the 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom house, no one lived next to me because the neighbor was in the military and he moved away. So I had a totally quiet house for like 3 or 4 months. It was just almost 3 acres of land and me. So the only reason I was able to make the transition from selling the house to going from the rest area to moving to the new apartment complex, I had to have money. And that's what I learned from Grant Cardone. You basically got to have money, man. You can be married. I don't care. I see some of the married people, they got these sports cars, living in San Bernardino, living in the ghetto. And you're like, what's the point, man? So you're going to have a Mustang or Audi in San Bernardino in a crime-infested neighborhood so someone can come blow your head off, or your wife, when you're not home, is hooking up with some gangster because you're not bringing enough money, or she's pissed with you because you'd rather have a car than give her a safe place to live. So she's got to come to like the gangster guy like me to make sure she stays protected. And I don't want that to be you, man, because the number one thing is money. Money first, like I say, my theory, going into 2020, money first, love second. You may love that person, but if they don't have no money, you're going to have to get rid of them. Because like I say, 10% of family, people or children are fallen from a different father than the original father. Because the original father is so dumb, they don't know that the other wife is ready to get rid of them. So she's fucking around and accidentally has a kid, say, oh, I don't want to leave yet. Oh, honey, I'm pregnant. And then he has another kid and doesn't know the kid is from another guy. And then eventually he's going to get divorced anyway. And she's going to go with that guy, or she's going to leave him, all of them, for the kids and him for the other guy. So what I'm saying, make sure you have money. If you have money and you're doing it right, your partner will stay with you. If you have money and you're treating it bad, don't look for your partners to stick around. So remember, going to this holiday season, don't let Santa trick you. Keep your money. This is the time you give love to everyone. They say, how are you doing? Merry Christmas. I love you, man. I love you, man. I love you, man. Keep the money to yourself.